I'm actually so excited to record this podcast episode. Honestly, I've been thinking about it all day and I was like, I need to talk about that. Self love was always difficult for me to have because when I grew up, I was bullied a lot. I didn't really have a lot of friends and I just didn't like myself. And over the year, I've been working a lot on myself and I have so much more self love than I used to, and I'm so happy about it. And I wanted to talk about it because I feel like a lot of you guys need to work on that and need to work on your self love. I think that working on yourself is such a pure form of compassion for society because the more that you love yourself, the more confident that you are, the better your relationship are and the kinder that you are as a person. And I think that the world really needs that. And I think this is the reason why I've been doing this podcast and I've been posting on social media about self growth and working on yourself. Because over the year, the more I've worked on myself and tried to be the best version of myself and the best person that I can be, and the more I work on being a good person, I have so much love and positivity to give to other people because I'm feeling myself with so much love and positivity that I'm able to give that energy to other people. And I've realized that over the year because this year I think that the comment I got the most is how much people love my energy and how much they love how I make them feel. And honestly, this is one of the best compliments that you guys can give me because I've been working on that so much and I just want to make people feel good because I want to feel good and I'm confident and I love myself. So I want other people to love themselves and have confidence. When you have a low self-esteem and you don't have self-love, you most often have self-hatred, and when you have so much hate in yourself, all you want to do is spread hate and you want people to feel as bad as you feel. So I think that's why it's important to work on your self-love. But how do we work on self-love? I think we have a lot of misconception about self-love because people think that self-love is like eating junk food when you feel sad, having bubble bath, doing your skincare routine, drinking wine and saying like positive affirmation. But self-love is so much deeper than that. I think people forget how much work it takes to have self-love and how deep really self-love is. So I think I'm gonna do a lot of parts on this podcast episode. I think I'm gonna do like 5 episodes on self-love because I've been doing some research and you guys, it is way deeper than I thought it was. And I really want to talk about it. I think it's really important and I think you guys are really gonna love this series of self-love and I think you guys might need it. Did you know that you have 4 types of self-love? The first one is self-awareness. Second one is self-worth. The third one is self-esteem. And the fourth one is self-care. And to fully access self-love, you need to be aligned with those 4 aspects. So we're gonna talk about it. What is self-love? I've made a list of all the things that is related to self-love. So let's go over the little list that I made. Self-love is taking care of your own needs and not putting your needs aside to please other people. And I think that's obvious. When you are a people pleaser, you don't have self-love. Because if you truly love who you are, you will always prioritize yourself. And I know that prioritizing yourself is not always easy, and most often than not, people are really scared to hurt other people's feeling. But if you always put others first and you don't prioritize yourself, you're gonna get your own feeling hurt. And this is your life. You should do what's best for you. And this is another form of self-love, always doing what's best for you, even if what you need to do is not always easy to do. Self-love is also having high standard for yourself and not settling for less. If you truly love yourself, I think it is so important to have high standard for your life and how you want your life to look like. And I know I talk a lot about it on my podcast, but you guys don't understand how much my life has become better since I have high standard for myself and since I work hard every day to meet those standards for my life. Self-love is also choosing yourself every day. Choosing yourself even on the bad days, choosing yourself even if you don't feel confident, choosing yourself every day and trusting yourself to do what's best for you all the time. Self-love is also settling healthy boundaries with yourself and also other. It is so important to have boundaries with yourself and other people. Because if you surround yourself with people who always cross your boundaries and don't respect you, you're gonna be miserable. And sometimes it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by people who just don't respect you. Self-love is also accepting yourself for who you are, but also being really honest about what you need to work on and work on yourself every day to become the best person that you can be. Self-love is also about forgiving yourself for the mistake that you made in the past. Because if you keep blaming yourself all the time on the mistake that you made, you will never truly be happy in your life and you will never truly access self-love. Self-love is not only about forgiving yourself for the mistake that you made, but also learning from those mistakes. Because if you never learn from your mistake, that means you're not working on yourself. And we all know that working on yourself is the purest form of self-love. Self-love is also about knowing your worth and knowing what you deserve and not settling for less than you deserve. If you really want to access self-love, I think it's important to sit with yourself and really be honest with yourself on who you are, on what kind of person have you been, and working on your flaws, and also figuring out what you want for your life and how you want your life to look like, and who do you want to be as a person. I think that when I started my self-love journey, when I started my spiritual journey, this is the question I asked myself that literally changed my life is, what kind of person have I been and what kind of person do I want to be? So I made a list of the kind of person I have been with people, with myself, how I acted in my life. But I also made a list of what kind of person do I want it to be. I knew I wanted to be loving. I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to be someone who's there for people, who help people. I wanted to be the kind of person where people feel safe to be with me and talk to me, and where people just feel good about themselves just because of my energy. I wanted to be the kind of person who's really understanding. I wanted to be the kind of person who can communicate well with other people. I wanted to be the kind of person who can manage her emotion well. And I wanted to be the kind of person who is just really positive and who is just really light. I just wanted to be light and warm. I wanted to be the kind of person who live a soft life. And it's been 4 years now, and I've been working on this a lot, but I've made so many changes, and I've become such a better person than I was. And I gotta be honest, I'm almost there. I still have some things to work through, but it feels so good to see how much progress I've made with myself and how much work I've put in myself. I really was honest with myself, and it was not easy. I cried a lot. I got angry at myself. The truth is that if you really want to have self-love and you really want to work on yourself, you can make all of those lists and do some meditation and do some introspection, but the only thing that will really help you work on yourself is practice. Practice with any kind of situation that happens in your life. Practice with other people. Practice with yourself. And it's a day-to-day work, you know? And not every day is going to be perfect when you work on yourself. I still have my days where I still have struggled to manage my emotion. I still have days where I get really angry or I get really sad. Not every day will be perfect, but every day is progress. So this was the first part of the self-love series, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. There's gonna be more to come. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna do 5 parts on this, and we're gonna go really deep on what is self-love, how to access self-love, and we're gonna go deep into the type of self-love and how to fully access every aspect of self-love. And in the meantime, if you have any question, any subject about self-love you want me to talk about in the next podcast episode, don't be shy and DM me on Instagram. I would be more than happy to talk about it on the next podcast episode. And before going, if you guys could go give my podcast a 5-star review on Spotify, I would appreciate it a lot. It means the world to me. It really helped my podcast to grow. I always feel so weird when I finish a podcast episode. I don't know why. I just never know how to end it. So the last thing I want to say before ending this podcast episode is remember that self-love is not a destination. It's not somewhere you have to go. It is within yourself. You have self-love within yourself. You just have to dig a little deeper in yourself. I truly believe that everyone can have self-love. So I hope that this series is really gonna help you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.